The drive through the Salt River Canyon offers some of the most breathtaking views in the entire state of Arizona. But as quickly as one might be taken back by the majestic views that Mother Nature has crafted, one wrong move could turn this epic afternoon drive into a deadly one if not approached with caution. One simple mistake, such as looking at your phone, driving too fast, or making an illegal pass, just like this idiot right here, could end up sending you over the edge and plummeting down the canyon as far as 1,000 feet to your death. The Salt River Canyon Drive that we'll be traveling today is located 2 hours east of Phoenix, Arizona, about 30 minutes north of the little town of Globe, and it's US Highway 60 that winds through the Salt River Canyon. And for the sake of today's video, we're going to be starting our journey right here, which is just before the descent into the canyon. Then we're going to carefully make our way through the switchbacks, hopefully not die, then cross the Salt River, and then climb back up the canyon all the way to Becker Butte Lookout. Along the way, I'm going to share with you some fun facts and show you some of the discoveries that I made. Oh, and by the way, this is mostly going to be through the perspective of a drone, not one of those cheesy dashboard camera views, so let's go. As we begin our drive down the Salt River Canyon, in the interest of time, I'll be speeding up the video just a little bit. Otherwise, this video would be way too long, and ain't nobody got time for that. But as you get closer to the switchbacks, you'll start to see many signs letting you know of the 6% grade and the steep descent you are about to make. This is also a great time to evaluate your driving situation, meaning if you do not do well with heights, there is a few pullout areas that you can stop at either 1, turn around, or 2, switch drivers. Many locals take this drive every single day, so it's nothing to them. But if you are a newbie to this road, please do not go up and down the entire canyon at 15 miles per hour. For the love of God, if you see traffic starting to line up behind you, please safely pull over into a pullout area and let traffic pass. Now I get it, it can be a complete white-knuckling, butt-cheek clenching drive, but holding up traffic is not going to make things any easier, especially once we get to this next part. Here is a never-before-seen drone clip of the switchbacks at the Salt River Canyon. It definitely puts things into a completely different perspective, and I hope this drone clip doesn't make you think twice about taking this drive, because it truly is beautiful. But without further ado, let's make our way down. Here's a few fun facts for you while we make our descend to the bottom. This is only a tiny part of US Highway 60 that runs through the Salt River Canyon. Highway 60 originates in southwestern Arizona and ends on the east coast in Virginia Beach, Virginia, stretching 2,655 miles across the United States, or 4,272 kilometers for my homies on the metric system. Now, to the person driving the average sedan down and up the canyon, you probably won't have any trouble, but if you're a semi-truck driver or you're hauling a boat, trailer, or something with a heavy payload, you might have a different perspective. Here's a comment that someone left on another video that I made out here a few years ago. It reads, "I drove fully loaded 18-wheelers through there that night. First time I was ever going to Sholo, which is a town 50 miles up the road. I had no idea about the Salt River Canyon. Remember, this is at night. Then I see on my GPS about 5 miles out, the navigation line gets all squiggly. I'm like, WTF. I pulled over at that brake check area just before the canyon and looked at the GPS. Long story short, my blank hole was super puckered during that entire first time riding through the canyon at night, hauling 80,000 pounds, LOL. Now that's just one comment. If you have a memory or experience driving this road, feel free to share with us in the comments down below. I would love to read all about them. We are now approaching the Salt River Canyon rest stop, which is the halfway point on our journey. And if you do plan on making this drive, this is a must-see. They do have bathrooms here and a few interpretive signs so you can learn all about the area. And well, I'll let the rest of the stop speak for itself.
There's a lot of stairs.
Once you make your way down the stairs, there is a little viewing area where you can get some picturesque views of the Salt River Canyon. In recent visits out here, this viewing area has been closed off, so it was nice to be able to walk down here again and get a better view of the river. Once you get done checking out this viewing point, you'll want to make your way back up that enormous flight of stairs and check out the views from the old Salt River Canyon Bridge. This single-span steel arch bridge that we are walking on was constructed in the early 1930s. According to az.gov, it all began in 1930, when Arizona Highway Department surveyors started looking around for a new all-weather route to Arizona's northeast region. Construction on the bridge began in 1933 and was completed by June of 1934. For decades to come, this was the bridge that intrepid travelers would take to access northeast Arizona. However, by the 1990s, it was out with the old and in with the new. The red bridge that you see here opened to traffic in 1996, replacing the old bridge, which of course is now only open to foot traffic. Here's a quick fun fact for you. The old Salt River Canyon Bridge was featured in the 1988 movie titled Midnight Run, starring Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin. I have yet to see this movie, but after learning this and putting the video together, it's something I'll definitely be tuning into this weekend. After checking out the rest stop and walking across the bridge, I decided it was time to start making our way up the canyon. But unfortunately, this is what happened next. Due to the rain and hail, I decided to call it a day and head back the next morning. It was coming down harder than the stock market, so flying a drone was out of the question. Rain, hail, heavy wind, and even snow, yes that's right, I said snow, which this part of the desert does see in the winter, all of these can be major factors in determining how your drive is going to go, so plan accordingly. Yeah! Awesome! The next day we picked up right where we left off, and this is where we start to make our climb on the opposite side of the Salt River Canyon. And just at the start of our ascent, there was a lost treasure of the past I wanted to stop in at and show you guys. This abandoned rest stop has always intrigued me on my many trips through here, and there's not a whole lot of well-documented information on it. The majority of the information I was able to find was compiled through forums, blogs, and comments on YouTube videos, so take this with a grain of salt. From what I could find, it seems that this rest stop dates as far back as the 1940s, and although it may look like a dump that's ready to collapse, there was a time when it saw better days. Here's a postcard of the location back in the 1960s when it went by the name Troy's Canyon Inn, and here's a side-by-side of what it looks like today. Here's another postcard photo of the rest stop that I found on eBay, and the title of the item refers to the 1940s era. And of course, here's another side-by-side look. From what I could find, it seems like this rest stop closed sometime in the early 2000s. And of course, who could forget that iconic jail cell that sits just to the left of the gas station? My original research led me to believe that this jail cell was used to hold disrespectful tourists. However, that isn't true. At least, I hope not. Other viewers of my previous video messaged me and told me that it is simply a tourist attraction where they would hold jail shows from time to time. But if anyone has any information about this place or you have any fond memories that you'd like to share, feel free to post that information in the comments below. I would love to read them. Now, let's get back on the road.
As I was flying my drone down in the canyon that you see behind me here, the prompt came up on my remote that said low battery. So I decided to do the smart thing and hey, Selena! So I decided to do the smart thing and head back to my car, grab a fresh battery, and pop it in. But as I was flying my drone back, I'm pretty confident I spotted a car wreck about halfway down the canyon. So we're gonna get this drone up in the air and fly it back down there and see what awaits us.
It's pretty spine-chilling to imagine a vehicle going over the edge way out here, but it does serve as a reminder that this road is not to be taken lightly. These were all the car wrecks that I was able to find, but for how long and deep this canyon is, I'm sure there's probably dozens more down there. And this is one thing that freaks me out about this drive. Heaven forbid anyone were to drive over the edge. Even if you were somehow able to survive the 1,000 foot plus drop all the way to the bottom, if no one saw you go over the edge, no one would even know you're down there. You would be in a world of trouble because 1, there's no cell service down in the canyon, and 2, you can't exactly walk out of there due to how steep it is, so you'd have to hike along the Salt River all the way back to the bridge before you could get help. And if anybody watching knows roughly what make and model these vehicles are, feel free to let us know in the comments. As hard as it may be to imagine what could have caused these drivers to go over the edge, do not let that deter you from coming out here and taking this drive. It's one of the most beautiful drives in Arizona, and it's such a phenomenal sight to gaze at. It's even earned the nickname Arizona's Second Grand Canyon due to its similarities. Over thousands of years, water has carved out this canyon, leaving this beautiful geological display behind for us to be able to appreciate today. And another fun fact for you, the Salt River begins in eastern Arizona at the confluence of the Black and White River and flows 200 miles just to the south of Phoenix, where it eventually pours into the Gila River. Now before we hop back on the road and get to the last leg of our journey, I did want to share with you guys another discovery I made out here, one that I almost forgot. I found this old mine not too far off of the highway, and this is actually located where we started to make our descend in the beginning of the video. From what I found, this was called the Pine Top Mine, and it produced asbestos. It was discovered in the early 1940s, but mostly operated on a small scale. According to mildtowildrafting.com, there is over 200 mines scattered throughout the area. Maybe in another video we'll have to come back out here and see if we can find some of those mines. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed our journey through the Salt River Canyon. But hold up, wait, the video isn't over just yet. After traveling through one of Arizona's most scenic drives and seeing how big of a drop-off it is from the road all the way down to the bottom of the canyon, and seeing all the car wrecks that we discovered, ask yourself this question: would you attempt to drive through the Salt River Canyon? Whether it be in a car, truck, motorcycle, camper, or even in a semi. A few good things to know about this location is, it is on a reservation, so please be respectful. That means don't be a jerk and litter. Pack it in, pack it out. If you do plan on doing any fishing, hiking, or camping here, you will need a permit. Also, do me a favor and share this video with your friends and family and ask them if they'd be down for a drive through the Salt River Canyon. And hey, if you want to see more scary and scenic drive videos that I've put together, be sure to click the playlist in the upper left-hand corner and keep the party going.